All right. Well, hey, thanks again for checking us out for another episode of Triple Play. And don't forget to
like and subscribe.
And don't forget to share. Yeah, we've been bad about that, but we need you guys to share. The more that we get the word out, the better it helps us. The more people that subscribe, the more people that follow us, that helps us get more revenue. And that's all good.
Yeah. Even little clips, like YouTube clip, share it with your buddy, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Hey, check this out.
Yeah. And we do some real fun ones. I've had a lot of feedback on that deer one lately. So yeah, that's all fun. That said, also support those that support us. Don't forget Andy McCallum and the guys at Resource One at 636-458-1798, and Chris and CS Design, who do our intro, outro, the website, and all sorts of fun stuff that we got coming. 573-436-3717. And I have had a few people ask, because I think I mentioned on one podcast, yes, an app is coming. We've been working out bugs. We're probably going to do a soft launch in July if all goes well, and then we'll have it out for everybody hopefully in August. So those things are coming. But that being said,
who we got today?
All right. Well, we got Joe Corbett, and Joe is a friend of mine I've known for quite a while now. So we got to know each other late night at the gym. He would usually buzz in, buzz out, but Joe was a focused man, and I could tell, but always had a smile on his face, always was willing to talk to me. And even if I annoyed him up for a minute, because I could tell he was ready to get home and be home, no, seriously, I sometimes you're just wanting to get in and out of the gym, and it's been a long day, and I got it, but he was always so nice and so kind, even if he was on passing. And so we got to know each other over time, and then I watched him transform from one industry to a complete other industry, and so I want to get into all that. But Joe, some things I don't know is, where are you from? And tell us a little bit about who you are, where you came from, a little bit about your past. How did you grow up?
For sure. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Awesome.
Thanks for being here.
I'm from St. Louis, from North County. Grew up in Ferguson, actually, and it was a great place to grow up. Went to St. Thomas Aquinas High School, and for your young listeners, they probably never heard of that.
They had good soccer when I was playing.
I was the best.
Yeah.
When I was playing in high school. One state a bunch of years. Not so good at football, and that's what I played, unfortunately. But grew up in Florissant. I've been in West County for probably 35 years. And,
oh, wow.
And yep. After college, moved out to West County and had a couple jobs after college, Pet Incorporated and RJR Nabisco. And then I'm just an entrepreneur at heart. And so I started a wealth management business. I worked for a brokerage firm for a very short time, started a wealth management business in 91. And we still have that business. It's a family business. My son pretty much runs the business now, and I have a partner also, and it's a great life. We have 42 clients, very high touch. So we serve less clients, but we do a whole lot of stuff for them, and that has provided me the ability to sort of chase a dream, which is opening a gym. So I bought the intellectual property for House of Pain in 2017. And again, for your gym goer listeners that are, maybe over age 40, you may have heard of House of Pain. It was an apparel brand back in the 90s that was really popular, probably the most popular. Went dormant after a couple of sales, changed hands a few times, and the people that I bought it from were a supply chain company, very good at what they do, but they didn't know anything about the fitness space, and so they shut the brand down. And when I bought it, it was dormant for 4 years. So we had this dream of bringing the apparel line back to its rightful place, and also start gyms, open gyms under the same brand, and have an equipment sales line of equipment that we sell, and sort of synergize that business in the fitness space. And it's worked really well. It's a little bit labor intensive, much more than I thought. So I'm trying to staff it up and put the right people in the right place, which has proven to be a little bit of a challenge. But overall, it's like I said, it's a dream, it's a passion. I haven't drawn 1 cent from the business in 5 years.
Well,
but I hope that changes sometime soon. But no, things are going really well with that.
So I want to kind of rewind because, I know that you had a family and obviously you did football, but fitness became a big thing to you, but it was a little bit later, wasn't it? Give us a little bit of story. How did you get into fitness and being into bodybuilding? So in particular.
Yeah, I've trained my whole life. Started in 8th grade. My friend and I rode our bikes up to Flow Valley, and they had a weight room up there, and we would go up there and lift weights. There are worse vices when you're 15 years old.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we were really into just working out, training, and I competed the first time in my early 20s. Joined George Turner's gym. I cut enough lawns to get $200 and went in and joined the gym for a year, and competed a few times in my early 20s, and then got married and had kids, and for 15 years. That was my full-time job and the most important job, right? I have 5 kids now, 3 grandkids, but life happens and you just react. So I didn't really have time to go to the gym. So I bought some weights and, used the barbells and dumbbells downstairs like a lot of guys do. And always tried to stay in shape. At age 40, I started competing again and haven't stopped. I'm 61 now and I've competed in over 100 bodybuilding shows, earned my IFBB Pro card in 2016, and that wasn't by design. I just loved competing. I loved training. Contrary to what a lot of competitors say, I love the diet. I like being, disciplined and having a routine and standing on stage and standing up there and saying, this is what I've been doing with my life,
Yeah. It's an accomplishment that very few can do. I mean, that's really the thing. A lot of people dream of it, but very few can, fulfill the dream. There's certain people that have discipline and a lot don't. Mm-hmm. So, and I definitely see when I look at bodybuilders, that's the one thing I always think of is that you have to be very disciplined in diet, discipline in the gym. Because if you're winning, competitions, that means those little muscles that, guys just trying to get girls, you're trying to make those things pop, right? So there's muscles that an average guy is not really thinking about because, you're not flexing, and doing all the... No, there's all these little back muscles and muscles that you have to focus on. And then you got to do the water. You got to get almost next to nothing when you go on those shows on water. So
I think of commitment, right? Because it's not like you train for 6 months and you're like, hey, I'm a bodybuilder. It's like years and years and years of stacking muscle on top of each other, right?
That's a way to really well put. Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you were 8th grade, you said. Do you remember what spurred your, hey, I want to be fit? Because when I was in 8th grade, I was like, I don't know what I was doing. I don't remember, but it wasn't like dreaming of going to the gym. So was there somebody you saw, your friends you were around?
Yeah. So if you come into the House of Pain gym in Chesterfield, our current gym, you'll see these paintings that are up on the wall. And it's a creation of Zach Smithy. Do you know him? He's a local artist. No. This guy is so talented. And he's on HGTV. He's got national, recognition now.
Wow.
So yeah, he's extremely talented. And I first saw his work at Mission Taco in St. Charles. There's an image that he drew of Mark Twain coming down the river, and I saw it, and I'm like, oh my God, who drew that? That's amazing. So I called him, and I said, Zach, I want to have these paintings done for this business I'm opening. Would you be interested? And he said, I'm too busy. I can't do it. By the way, what is it? And I said, well, I want to paint the bodybuilding legends on my walls at the gym. Pause for a few seconds. I'll be there Monday at night.
Is that intriguing?
He was a fitness guy, so he was really into it. Yeah. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So if you come to the gym, you'll see all these legends, the bodybuilding legends painted on the walls. And
that's neat.
So that was my inspiration.
That's awesome.
Yeah, reading the magazines.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful gym, by the way. The exterior, everything. Interior, everything's clean. Got good angles on it.
Happy with the way it came out. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Scott.
Yeah, that's really cool. So so you get the apparel, and then that transitions to the gym, but that didn't happen right away. You kind of were relaunching the apparel, right?
Yep.
How did that go? Was that a struggle just to try to get the rename?
Struggle. You got a bunch of billionaires that want to be in the fitness apparel space, and it's kind of hard to compete with that. There's companies like Live Fit and Alpha Elite and companies like that are very well capitalized and have a really tight business plan, very well executed. There's Gasp and Better better bodies. Those are hard companies to compete with. When House of Pain was prominent back in the day, none of those companies existed. I'll never forget the only way you could get House of Pain equipment or House of Pain apparel back then was you went to a powerlifting meet or a bodybuilding competition. And you could find them there. They had a booth and you bought their stuff. Well, they did a co-branding thing with West Side Barbell, which was, Louis Simmons. He was kind of the pioneer in powerlifting. So that was a huge thing. Like they were aligned with West Side Barbell, and so they really set themselves apart. But over the years, and especially them being dormant for many years, they really lost their place. So again, it's our mission to bring it back, but it's been a long road. It'll be a long road, but we have a big vision for the brand.
Okay. And then the gym comes along. Okay. Now I know in the gym, you mentioned equipment. I know one of the things about you is that you traveled a lot and you were very specific on the equipment that's in there. Tell us a little bit about that. So
yeah, that's a great question. I think that's what sets us apart. Most people will say it's our culture because, there's some gyms that call themselves the no judgment zone. We are truly the no judgment zone. I mean, we have a big law enforcement community. We have a big trans community. Everyone's treated the same. St. Louis Business Journal gave us an award for being a trans-friendly business. We never looked at it that way. People are just people. If you're there to train, you're my friend, We don't judge anyone. The only thing that we care about is that you're there for the right reason, and that is to get in shape. I don't care if you're a competitor or if you're a beginner. If you're there for the right reason, we want to know you. And so the equipment, though, is sort of. I'm kind of a geek when it comes to the equipment. We have a whole line of Prime equipment, Watson out of the UK. Panada, these companies, this type of equipment is very rare in the commercial gyms. I won't say you'll never see it, but it's very rare to see any of that in the commercial gyms. And why is it rare? Because it costs more money, but biomechanically it makes sense. There's a lot of stuff, and again, I'm not trying to disparage anyone, but there's a lot of stuff made these days. It's imported from China. The footprint, they shrink the footprint. So they'll buy they'll buy the intellectual property from a company that made great equipment, but they change it. They change the footprint of it, changes the pivot points on it, and they don't align with your joints. And to me, it just doesn't make much sense. So we have the best of the old and the best of the new. I sought out pieces of equipment that I feel are the best for legs or for back, and I bought them. And sometimes it was pretty expensive because they were rare. And a lot of times I took them down to the metal, had them repowder coated, new bearings, new bushings, and it's like a brand new piece of equipment, but it's 50 years old. And it's sitting right next to, a brand new piece of equipment. You can't really tell the difference. And then some of it looks old, but it works beautifully. And I had a couple that came through from a big box gym and they wanted to tour. So I took them on a tour and I was just real excited to show them the equipment. And the lady said, I don't think this is for us. No problem. We're not for everybody. Your equipment's old. Have a good day, man. You're not going to, those people will never fit into our culture or our what we're trying to do at House of Pain. They're into the shiny stuff with marble bathrooms and whatever, and that's cool. That everybody serves a purpose, but it's just not us.
Well, it sounds like you're intentional about the product you're giving your clients, and everything has a purpose. So
yeah.
Just know that when you walked in there, everything's there for a reason.
Yeah.
Well, and
can I hire you for sales?
No, maybe. I don't know.
I probably couldn't afford you.
one of the things I noticed about House of Pain is that there's a lot of successful bodybuilders coming out of House of Pain. So that says that they're going in there with the mission to have the right equipment. And that mission's being fulfilled. I mean, I'm watching online, and a lot of my friends who go there are doing that. One of the things I thought about, you talked about trans, but I also know about you is that you guys, and we were talking about Justin earlier, have reached out to those with different types of disabilities. And had you guys did a whole thing for kids and adults who had disabilities to get into powerlifting, and even did a couple competitions with them. So
we have Special Olympics powerlifting meets every year, and that is just I do that for me. It just feels awesome.
Oh.
And our members all show up and they cheer on the kids. And, every lift is a celebration. It's just, it's an amazing vibe there. If you ever get a chance, please come down and experience it. It's something to see.
Yeah, when I watch the photos and all that, it gets me in the gut every time. Just not even being there, and I mean, you're almost getting teary-eyed while we're talking about it because it's
Quick story, Josh. So we got a call. I'm trying to think of the timing. I think it was in February. Maybe it was in March. When was the WWE here with the big event downtown?
I think it was February.
Yeah, it wasn't longer ago than
Okay.
February. It was more.
It was this year for sure.
Yep.
We get a call from the WWE. And we would like to come out. We know your involvement with Special Olympics, and we'd like to come out and bring some of our wrestlers out. I'm like, who is this?
Yeah.
So they did. We had our athletes, our Special Olympics athletes, and we have several of them that train at our gym regularly. So we just put the word out. I think 8 of them showed up, and so in come these WWE guys. And I'm sorry, I don't know much about WWE, but they had the guy that won it. He had the belt. Can't remember his name.
That's okay.
We'll flash it up on the screen.
Yeah,
We'll let them know.
There's pictures on our social media, but to see those kids when those guys, and they knew nothing about this, when they walked in
That's cool.
yeah, it was amazing.
That's really cool.
And then one of the guys was like 7 feet tall. I don't know if you ever stood next to a 7-foot guy. I mean, it's pretty intimidating.
It's not natural. It doesn't seem like, who are you?
Yeah, but no, it was a great experience.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I think it's really cool that you guys do that. I mean, that's getting involved in the community. It's those kids before places like HOP had nowhere to go. And now they got a place to go. They can go work out, and they have a purpose. They can work out with winning a competition. So there's a goal in mind. I love it. I think it's awesome. We need a lot more of that kind of stuff going on, and a lot less of the other stuff sometimes.
Yeah. Is that scheduled, or is it just kind of pops up when it pops up, or is there a time of the year that people can start looking for it?
Yeah, great question, Scott. We try to do it in conjunction with the Special Olympics state meet.
Okay.
Because sort of as a warm up, but what we try to do is we bring out like the smoke machine in the PA system. We have the lights, so when they're lifting, it's like a sanctioned event,
competition.
Yeah, but awesome. we try to coincide with the state meet, and then if they win the state meet, they go to nationals. It's kind of a big deal, and they can actually compete internationally. Which I think one kid from Missouri has done that. Has gone to nationals. But yeah, it's very rewarding, and again, they're part of the community. They come in the gym, and they're treated as everyone else. Hi Greg, how you doing? Hey, what's up, Jeremy?
Yeah.
So.
That's awesome.
It's cool.
I think House of Pain. I remember House of Pain shirts growing up from the 90s.
Do you, man?
Yes, I do. I really do. I remember the italicized, all the writing, everything. And there was 2 groups of people. It was strong people that wore it, and then I remember it was like overweight teenagers that would cut off the sleeves, and that would droop just barely over the shoulder. But I remember it was House of Pain. I remember thinking, those guys don't work out.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Well, so House of Pain, where does it go from here? So what are your, what are you guys doing right now, and what are the upcoming plans? Because I've heard like the second location getting ready to reopen, or are you guys looking to do that? So
yeah, we merged the Maryland Heights location and our Chesterfield, which was our original location, into the new space in the district by Topgolf, between Topgolf and the main event. And the way that came together is it just came together. Holy Spirit works in fascinating ways, and I think that we had every intention of putting the Maryland Heights gym right across the river into St. Charles, and for a number of reasons that didn't work out. And then the space came available in the district. We met Michael Steinberg, who is developing that whole area, and we loved his vision and what he was, going to make that district. And we really wanted to be part of it, and he wanted us to be part of it. So it just worked. And great guy. And Really looking forward to what is to come. A lot of work to do. You know, we're just now, we branded the space. We put all of our equipment in there. It took 2 full weeks to get the equipment in there. We feel like it's arranged appropriately. There are a few tweaks that we'll make. But so the two into one, that was quite a job. We had every intention also of going to Wentzville, and we still would like to do that. Finding real estate out there is pretty tough. So we'll just wait for the right opportunity. It's interesting, though, because I never felt like St. Louis County wanted my business, but again, the Business Journal did a little article on us, and my phone just lit up from city planners from St. Charles, St. Peter's, Wentzville. Hey, what are your plans? We'd like to help you. Okay, come on out. Let's talk to us. Let's talk about how we might be able to make this work. Our time, we had a window to make it happen, and we couldn't line it up, you know. But isn't it nice that you're wanted, to feel wanted, you know? Like, oh, yeah. I felt like from a commerce standpoint, they really had it together out there.
That's great.
Well, good. Hopefully that'll happen. And hopefully it won't just be in Missouri. It'll continue to bloom, and other people in other areas can enjoy these gyms across the country.
We do have, like I said, a big vision. We want to be in Tampa, or that area, kind of the Gulf side in Florida. I'm a resident of Florida, and there's definitely space for us down there and for our brand. And we'd also like to be in some kind of licensing or franchise situation. I think we have a good product.
I agree.
How about the apparel? So the apparel is going to continue to grow. Are you guys in any stores right now, or is it just like through your website and through the merch areas like that right now? How do they get it? If somebody wants to get a House of Pain apparel, how do they get it?
Yep, it's houseofpain.com.
Okay.
And we have an equipment sales page. We have the gym pages, and then we have the apparel pages with, you know, a number of things. We're right now recreating the brand. We're going to create a line of performance wear, t-shirts, sweatshirts, those things, shorts. They've always sold great, you know. Right. But the performance wear is an area that we really want to get into, and big things to come there. It's going to take a while, but we're going to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Rome wasn't built in a day, just like, this podcast. We were talking earlier. I mean, we started 6 months ago. If you told me in 6 months that we would have 20,000 subscribers, I would have thought you were crazy. But here we are. And if you would have told me that, we'd even be monetized. When I read the books, they said minimum 7 to 8 months, and that's just to be able to apply. And that was like a minimum. And
how long has it been for you guys?
Well, we started in January doing this. We got monetized back in March?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think it was March I applied, and by March, April, we were starting to be monetized through YouTube. We met their minimum. So, it took a little while, but, God.
Keep on.
Yeah, God provides, and we just keep having great people like Joe Corbett on here and hearing these awesome stories about a guy from North County with a vision, with loving to work out, got a financial mind background, and you take your financial part, you put it with your passion, and boom, you got a House of Pain of apparel and gym, and one of the hottest places I know in St. Louis that people love to go work out. Mm-hmm. I want to ask you one other question, because one thing that really stuck out to me about you, it was also during the shutdowns. You kind of took a stand during that, and was that tough? You were kind of a loner a little bit on that. Mm-hmm. So how did that come about, and what was the thought process behind that? So
you ever watch Three Stooges?
Sure.
The episode where Curly, Mo, and Larry are standing in a row. They're in the military, and the sergeant comes up and he says, "The special mission we're going to do, I need volunteers." And everybody in the line steps back, and you're standing there, and then those three, "Oh, great. Come on up, guys." Yeah, I was Mo. It was, I couldn't believe I was the only person that really did it. I mean, there was other gyms in the country. That guy in New Jersey.
Well, there were a lot of them around the country that were taking stands, but around here, I was shocked too. I was really shocked, and in other businesses, I was really shocked. I always said, like, if I had a restaurant and I was putting that, I said it would have been very easy for me. I would have got all my friends. I would have got 50 of my friends, and I would have gone by Sam Page's house from about 12 o'clock in the morning.
He's serious, though.
I can't say that.
He was serious. He'd be serious.
Well, I'm very serious. I would have got about 20 friends, and every night, every half hour, I go by and honk my horn outside his window, because if I can't make him a living, he can't sleep. That would have been my one person making that dictatorial decision on my livelihood would have really bothered me. But I thought it was cool how you took a stand, how you went to court over it, and but I was really shocked that more people were involved, that they were just that they would allow the government just to shut them down and not make any money. And I mean, eventually some of those people got checks from the government, I guess, for being shut down. And but I guess that's the entrepreneur in me, and the man in me wants to work, wants to make a living, wants to, as a small business owner, to do things. I remember when all that happened, people were like, "Are you essential?" I said, "I don't know, but I don't know what they consider essential, but my essentiality is I got to pay for my bills, and I'm not going to trust the government to do it. So if I have an ability to work, I'm going to keep working."
You have mouths to feed.
Yeah, and they're like, "Well, what if you get sick?" I'm like, "I work out every day. I eat very healthy. You know, I have some bad stuff, but I mean, I eat fairly healthy. What am I worried about? I mean, Joe, my body gets sick all the time, and I just kick it right off, man. I pop a couple multivitamins down, boost my immunity a little bit every now and then. And, you know, I got 6 kids, and not that I don't get sick, but I don't get sick a lot. And I've learned, I think a lot of it has to do with working out, good diet.
It's because you're healthy.
Yeah.
You do healthy things. And if you do healthy things, you're going to be healthy.
Get outside. Also, your kids too. I make all my kids exercise. You know, you go look at it. None of my kids are fat. All my kids, we every morning I wake up and they're already doing their workout routines. I have my sons. I have a 6 and 8-year-old son. They're already doing push-ups. I'll come in the house and they'll be, doing my 3rd set, Dad.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Future House of Pain members.
There you go. I love it, man. I would love nothing more better for them to be able to accomplish that. And I've seen also a lot of my friends' sons who go there and watch their accomplishments. It's fun to watch a young man go in a house of pain and over a couple year period go from kind of the scrawny little, probably played some sports, might have done something, but the scrawny 16-year-old or 15-year-old that starts going down or maybe with dad or on their own. And then by the time they're ready to go to college, they're
commitment. Commitment.
They've got commitment. They're disciplined. Yeah. They're not eating anything bad at that point. You got good diet. It's amazing to me.
Hey, I got a question, Joe.
Yeah.
Let's say I'm gonna do my sales pitch for you again.
Yeah.
Let's set you up.
Love it.
Let's say somebody's shopping for a new place, new scenery, and they see House of Pain. What can they expect when they walk in? I know there's a culture there. I know there's great equipment, but are they going to get options for classes? Is it an open gym? Can you expand
Good
on
question.
that?
Yeah. The first thing that they should expect is to get greeted.
Yeah.
And for somebody to ask them their name.
Yeah.
And ask them where they come from, what kind of training they do, what brings them in, how'd you hear about us? I want to know more. We want to know more about the human being. I know that sounds corny, but
no, that's
truly,
important.
how can you help someone unless you really understand? So I think that understanding is a really important thing. And then it's we don't have classes.
Sure.
We do have training, personal trainers and group training. But we have all of that you would want, very highly qualified people. But, we have what I feel is the best equipment. We have a complete strongman area. And I don't know if you know much about strongman. How old are you, Scott?
36.
Okay. Gosh.
Don't let my gray beard fool you.
When I was in my 20s, I could watch Bill Kazmaier on ABC's Wide World of Sports carry refrigerators around in his back. That was strongman back then. Yeah. Now it's a little bit different. You've got, Thor and Brian Shaw and these guys, these professionals that do all these just mind-boggling
Shaw's
feats of strength. Yes, he's a huge man. But I'm just in awe. It's not my world, but it is just awesome to watch. We have a couple of professional strongmen that lead the group, but now it's not just men, it's a lot of women. I'd say almost half are women, and they're doing the sled pushes and the tire flips and the yoke carries and the frame carries and all that stuff. But it's sort of mainstream now.
Yeah.
So we do have a section just for them with every strongman implement you would want. We have, from a powerlifting standpoint, and this is self-serving, but we have the deadlifts, we have the power racks, we have the competition benches, we have Olympic benches. I have just about every bar that you would want. I don't have a bar that's under, I'd say, $600. You know, they buy it. I won't say any names. The big box gyms will buy a bar for $100, and you might say, "Well, what's the difference?" Come on. well, the difference for those kind of guys is big.
Oh yeah,
they can't use, you know, the stuff that
flex. That's the
and the strength. You know, the strength of them. So. And then all of the other equipment. I have 2 sets of dumbbells from 5 pounds to 200 pounds. Not many gyms have 200-pound dumbbells or 2 complete sets like that. You know, so. I really think we're set apart from being equipped. There's no comparison. But again, I think what you'll find when you walk into House of Pain, from the culture, from the standpoint of the people that are in there, is that you'll find empowerment, encouragement. We don't allow cell phone use on the gym floor. That's kind of a big thing. At the gym where I met you, Josh, I used to see people watching movies, sitting on the leg press, watching a movie on their phone. You know?
Yeah, you're here.
Are you done? Are you done? No, I have a few more sets.
Okay. So they're allowed to have a phone, just not be on it, right?
Right.
You can listen to music or podcasts and be doing your thing.
Yeah, and if you have to take a call or return a text, just step off the gym floor. That's all we ask. No tripods. You're there for a reason, you know?
That's half the gym I go to right now. But these young guys, that's my favorite thing is to try to hop into their photos now. Like, I'm serious. They'll be out there, you know, they'll go back into
Photobombing them.
Oh yeah. Well, I just ripped my shirt off and I'm like, let me join, you know, and of course I got the dad bod going on and I love it, man.
What if somebody forgets a bar and at home? Can they get some supplements there?
Yeah, we have the ready to draw, all the ready to drinks. You know, the what'd you offer me when I came in? The
Monster?
Yeah, all that. The
energy drinks.
Yeah, the energy drinks. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And you know, the protein and the bars and all that stuff. We sell a pretty decent amount of apparel out of the gym, like $5,000 a month, which is. When other gym owners ask me about my model, I always say, I try to unlock every square inch of the gym, the value of every square inch of the gym. And if it means putting a rack of clothes where it would otherwise just be open, so be it. You know, they have to walk, our members have to walk by it and I like that shirt. And you might say, well, what's a $25 shirt or a $29 shirt? What's the difference? Well, during the shutdown, it was a huge difference. Those purchases would pay an electric bill or something. And I hate to, you know, be so petty and, you know, drill it down so deep, but it's a tough business. You know, it's hard to make money in the business. And, you know, during the shutdown, I'll refer back to that. We hired a cleaning company. We spent $2,500 a month just on materials, cleaning materials, you know, the wipes, the sanitary wipes, the sprays, the towels. How many memberships you got to sell extra to? Yeah. You know, I mean, it just
adds up.
It's tough. It's a tough business. So,
and you already had people fearful of the gym, right? Because they did a good job of telling everybody you were going to somehow somebody would sneeze on you and you were going to get sick.
You're going to die.
Yeah. It was really, really crazy.
Fear was definitely
it was like the opposite during that time. The best thing you could have been was getting in shape, getting outside, getting sun. It was like, you know, eating supplements. You know, if you're a fan of like Joe Rogan, he was like preaching it. After about week 2, he was like, yeah, everybody should go take multivitamins, get off their fat butts, get going, move. You know,
your immune system needs a workout every once in a while.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So you guys have supplements. Do you carry any special supplements?
No, it's just protein. It's the basic stuff, and we're not in the supplement business. Like Supplement Superstores is right around the corner. They refer a lot of business to us, so we let them do their thing. We provide the basics for our members who need the convenience. You know?
So is it their products usually that's in there then?
No.
Okay.
We have other products.
Okay. Say variety. Are you still sponsored?
Me?
Yeah.
Personally?
You were at one point. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, not really. I sort of just moved away from that. It just didn't feel right. Me.
No, that's okay.
Understandable.
Yeah, I definitely understand. Well, is there anything you have, any parts of wisdom that you have before we wrap this up? Anything that you have that you want to throw out there?
Well, first of all, thanks for even thinking of me. I'm just humbled. And just be good humans. I mean, let's just be good to each other and try to make we live in a world that seems like everybody wants to tell everybody else how to live their lives. And, if I don't care who you have sex with or, what your passion is, you live your life, and I'll live mine, and just let's be happy and get along, because it just seems like we're so divided right now. And so anytime I have the opportunity, I just, God's greatest commandment is to love one another. And just, that's the only thing I would say.
Yeah. We had a presidential candidate on yesterday talking a lot about unity. Yeah.
Where'd that go?
Yeah.
He's trying to bring it back. Yeah.
Trying to get back to where we're not so divisive. I feel like our podcast kind of does that a little bit. We just like to get to know people. We're not trying to divide people over any issues. I can't think of any podcast other than when me and you argue.
Well, I mean, how absurd is it to think that everybody's going to think one way about one thing?
Yeah.
How absurd is that to think?
But yet
But that's how everybody thinks.
Yeah.
Most people think that way.
Yeah.
At one thing or another. Like I'm sure there's things that I think that everybody should think, but that's not right. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, good bits of wisdom there, Joe. We appreciate you as well. And it's been a great episode. I learned a lot. I didn't know where you were from. I loved learning about that.
Support a fellow St. Louisan.
Yeah. Well, and a good guy, great gym. And think about it. Not only are you going to support him, but you're going to get in shape. You're going to do one of the best things you can possibly do. We talked about the Bible. Well, spiritual fit, being spiritually fit and then physically fit, right? And those are important things. Get your mind clear and right, and then get the body right. So the body, when it's right, helps the mind think right, and the mind helps the body think right. So it's all these things are interconnected. God made us a very, very unique being. So, take advantage of great gyms, great people, great culture. And if you're not in the area, buy some apparel. House of Pain Apparel. Pretty cool shirt you got on right there. I've seen a lot of cool shirts floating around even our gym, even if they're not necessarily members. They still...
Oh, that's good to know.
They float into the different gyms that I go to, so I see them all over the place. I'm seeing more and more House of Pain Apparel. So if you're somebody who just wants to support the business and the cause, buy a shirt. Why not a House of Pain shirt if you're going to get an athletic apparel shirt? So
bring back House of Pain.
Bring back, yeah. We'll have to get you to one day to do one.
Yeah, we'll get him the flag.
I got to
maybe me like 10 years ago, but
well, hey, thanks again for checking us out. It's been a great episode of learning about Joe Corbett and House of Pain, as we like to call it, HOP. And so please check it out. And don't forget to like and subscribe on our episodes, and also share. And we'll catch you the next episode. Thanks.